Okay, in this reaction we're going to add iron. It's probably going to be a nail, and we're going to add it to copper sulfate. And remember, copper sulfate is that nice blue solution, which is an environmental hazard. So name our two reactants, iron and copper sulfate. We're on a roll. We've started well. And what are going to be our products? Okay, so we've got these two, iron metal and blue copper sulfate. What's going to happen there? Well, we've got two metals there that we'll look at, iron and copper. So let's just remind ourselves of the reactivity series, and we can see that iron is more reactive than copper. So this sounds like it could be one of those ones where the iron and copper swap, a replacement. So let's come back and have a look. Iron and copper sulfate. So this could be a swap. So what happens if these two swap? We're going to get copper metal, and iron sulfate. So that's our guess, seeing that we've got two metals and seeing that they one is more reactive than the other, and the less reactive metal is in solution and the more reactive metal is a solid. So that's a classical SWAPO reaction. So let's come back. So then let's have a look at our video, and we can see that we've started with this beautiful blue copper sulfate, and we've got a nail put in, and after a while when he takes the nail out we see that the nail is, when it comes out, the nail's like this, reddish copper at the bottom and the nail still like this. So that really is a replacement reaction. So write our observation again. A shiny silver coloured nail was placed in a clear blue solution. After however many minutes it was, the nail came out. Now was covered with reddish copper, and the solution changed to be greenish blue, etc., etc. Okay, name the type of reaction. Type of reaction where one metal, a more reactive metal, replaces another one, less reactive metal in the solution, is called a displacement reaction. Displacement reaction, again, right neater. And our word equation then is going to be iron plus copper sulfate. Remember, little plus there, reacts together to form copper metal plus iron sulfate. Okay, so symbol equations. Iron plus copper sulfate. So what's the formula for copper sulfate? Let's look at our table. Copper forms a 2 plus ion, and sulfate a 2 minus ion. So copper wants to give 2 electrons, sulfate wants to receive 2 electrons. So a marriage made in heaven, one of these and one of these. So we've got CuSO4 reacts together to form copper plus iron sulfate. And let's check on the formula for iron sulfate. Iron wishes to give 2 electrons, and sulfate wants to get to again 1 to 1. So we've got 1 iron, 1 sulfate, so that's a balanced formula for that compound. So let's now see if our reactants and products balanced. We've got 1 sulfate on the right and 1 on the left, 1 iron on the right and 1 iron on the left, 1 copper on the right, 1 copper on the left. So we've got that balance there. Very good. Now we do need to write 2 evaluations. So we could write an evaluation on this one, but we must write, one of them must be a precipitation reaction, and I suggest that the other one will either be a combination or a decomposition evaluation. Composition. So that's all done.